Hi YouTube, it's Kathy, and I'm here today to do something I don't think I've ever done before on this channel, and that's a pile of possibilities for Weekend at Timmy's. Now, to be clear, I've never done Weekend at Timmy's before because this is the first round of Weekend at Timmy's, so technically nobody has done it before. But specifically, a pile of possibilities is not my usual go-to. However, when looking at the challenges we were presented with, I had more than one book for each option that I thought could fit the bill, and I don't know exactly when I'm going to read everything in July, so let me just tell you about it. Firstly, Weekend at Timmy's is something started by Brittany Loves Reading. She's a fellow Canadian, she's in Nova Scotia, I used to live there a very long time ago. And the very first round of this is happening July 12th and 13th, so basically it's a weekend readathon. My understanding is the way she runs her TBR monthlies is she has her own kind of Monopoly-esque board, but it's based around Timmy's or Tim Hortons, which used to be a very beloved Canadian branded coffee shop here in Canada. However, ages ago, it was actually sold to a company in the States, so I think it also exists in the States now. And because this house has gone pretty hard on the not buying things from America because, you know, trade war, we won't be having any Tim Hortons anytime soon, but that doesn't mean I can't play this game. Basically, Brittany has decided that every 2 or 3 months she's going to roll a couple of the prompts, and that's going to be the prompts for a specific weekend, and the first weekend, as I think I already said, is July 12th and 13th. For this weekend, she rolled twice. She pulled 2 different cards. One of them is alliteration, so you're looking for a title with alliteration. And the second one is Double Double, which I feel is just so classic. It's such a Timmy's thing. If you're not aware, Double Double here in Canada is double milk, double sugar. In fact, it's so famous, one second. It's so famous that you can buy a coffee creamer here that is specifically called Double Double. Now I need to go put this back. It's not mine, I don't want it to spoil. Anyway, you're probably wondering what's Double Double, what's the prompt for that? And that's a title with 2 D's in it. It doesn't have to be 2 D's next to each other or anything like that. Just any title that has the letter D twice in it counts. I guess I should also mention the first prompt was a donut, and I don't really know what that means in the ethos of her game, but it really boiled down to a title with alliteration. For each of these challenges, I have technically 3 books that fulfill them, although I only have 5 books on this pile of possibilities, and that's because one of them fulfills both the prompts. The first alliterative title on this pile of possibilities is Wine Witch on Fire, and it has a very long subtitle, so I'm just gonna read it. Rising from the ashes of divorce, defamation, and drinking too much. A memoir. This is something I'm going to be getting through my library. In fact, most of these things are through my library. I kind of went into making this pile of possibilities by going through the things that I currently have holds on at the library that are suspended, because that's how I manage my holds list at the library. It's a whole process. But I went, ooh, alliterative title? What's this? Can I possibly read it in a day? Sure, it can go on the pile of possibilities. The abstract on my library website reads, a powerful memoir about how one woman resurrects her life and career in a glamorous but sexist wine industry. So she's a sommelier, things have happened, it's her memoirs, I'm excited. The second book with an alliterative title is Bed and Breakup. This actually comes out today as I'm filming this, so probably yesterday by the time I get this up. Depends on how long editing is, you get it. And this was something that was actually sent to me as an ARC, and I haven't gotten around to it because I'm trash and I've been reading other things for the Queerly Readathon. However, let me tell you about it. 2 exes reunite to fix up and sell a vacant bed and breakfast that destroyed their marriage. Can they find a way to give the antique inn and themselves a better future? I personally don't need to know any more than that, but if you do, you can look it up on your own time. On to the Double Double titles, so the titles that have 2 D's in them. The first of my possibilities for this is Before I Had the Words. This one also has a subtitle that has another D in it, but I'm not counting that, or at least I'm interpreting it that you need at least 2 D's in the title, more than 2 is fine. But also, it's a subtitle, so does it really count? I don't think so. The subtitle, by the way, is On Being a Transgender Young Adult. This one, again, pretty much what it says on the tin, it is a memoir about being a transgender young adult. I don't think I need to read anything more than that because I'm going to read it and I'm going to learn all about this person. The second title that has 2 D's in it is You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. Again, like everything from my library, it's been on my list for a very long time. The synopsis of this one in part reads, 17-year-old Charity's role of playing the final girl at Camp Mirror Lake, where guests pay to be scared, becomes all too real when her co-workers begin disappearing, and if her and her girlfriend Benzie want to survive, they will need to figure out what the killer is after. Sounds fantastic. Don't know why I haven't read it yet, because I have so many other things to read. That's the answer always. So that is 4 out of the 5 books on my pile of possibilities, and now we have the book that covers both alliteration and 2 Ds in the title, or double, and that's the only one I physically have on hand, and that's Seeds in the Dark Fruit Sky. This is a collection of short stories from Haiti. This is something that was put together by somebody I met at my very first VidCon ever. In fact, after that VidCon is when I started this channel, and the next year I actually did a road trip all the way down to VidCon, so from Vancouver Island all the way down to Anaheim and back. And by road trip, I mean transit road trip. I wasn't driving myself. And Rosie and I actually recorded a video during that trip, so I will link that down below. But yeah, that project was something I remember her telling me about when I first met her, or at very least the next year when I stayed with her before VidCon and we went to the next VidCon. And then eventually this was published in 2021 and I still haven't gotten around to reading it because I'm trash, and this is also something on my 40 before 40 TBR, and I'm trying to read a bunch of those titles next month because I am very behind on that goal, so this one had to go on the list. So there you have it. I'm probably not going to read all 5 of these books that weekend, but I'm definitely going to try to at least read a couple of them. Double usually means reading 2 books with 1 prompt, but for the purposes of this weekend, the doubling up is doing something from a self-care list, which I didn't take note of. I will probably be doing those things anyway that weekend, so I'm not thinking too hard about it. If you were going to try to cover these prompts, what books would you use? Let me know about it down in the comments below. On the way down in the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. If you don't feel like leaving a comment but want to make sure that I know you were here, just leave me an emoji or a smiley face if you happen to be on your keyboard. Some people have asked if there's a way to financially support this channel, so I set up a Ko-fi account, which is a digital tipping service. The link for that, as always, is down below. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!